All right, friends, so I just finished this hat. I'm writing it up, well, not right now because I'm filming, but I will be writing it up this week and getting it posted hopefully today, if not tomorrow. And I wanted to do a quick tutorial about the brim. So I'm not going to film a full tutorial for this hat. The construction of this one is actually super simple, but this is my favorite style of crochet brim, and so I wanted to do a video specifically about how to make a folded over single crochet rib brim. So this hat is the Dapple hat. Like I said, super simple construction, so I'm not filming a full video tutorial for that. But this video is specifically how to do a folded over single crochet rib brim. So to get started, we need to get our yarn and a hook. So I'm using a worsted weight yarn, so I have a size H hook. Whatever yarn and hook you need for your project is what you need to grab. And if you're doing something on your own without a pattern, then it won't tell you how many stitches to do. So you can do a row of single crochet or a couple rows of single crochet ribbing and then measure your width. But just be aware that you're going to take about 2 stitches for the folded over part. So this particular hat has a ribbing of 16 stitches, so half of that would be 8, so you might expect 8 to show up on one side, but it really only looks like 7 because of the amount it takes to fold, so just be aware of that if you're coming up with your own stitch count. So for this one, I'm gonna do a chain of 17 to start. And I'll turn and single crochet in the second loop across, or second loop chain from the hook, so skip that first one and work in the second one. You can work through the back loop only or not, I don't really care in this instance. And I'm just going to single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across, so that'll be 16 single crochet. Now the basic pattern for a single crochet rib, tail, get out of the way. Okay, you'll chain one and turn, and now I'm just going to single crochet through the back loop. That turn chain never counts as a stitch, so single crochet through the back loop only all the way across. At the end of the row, you're not going to work into the chain one, and you can count just to make sure you have the same number of stitches, so you should have 16 still, which I do. And then you're going to just do the same thing. Chain one, turn, and crochet back loop only across. You'll do that until you reach the number of rows you need for the pattern. So for this sample, I'm just going to do a few more rows and then show you how to do the next steps. All right, so now I've done 10 rows of ribbing, and when you're looking at single crochet ribbing, you'll see that it kind of puckers into these V's. So each of these V's is actually made of 2 rows. So there's 1 row on this side and 1 row on this side, 1 row here, 1 row here. So if you're counting, you can count the V's by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8 rows, and then half of a V, so I have 9 rows. So pretending that this pattern told me I need 10 rows of ribbing and that I need to join on the last row. This is what I mean by joining on the last row. So we'll chain one and turn just like normal, and then we're gonna go fold over our brim so that our first row is lined up here, and then we're gonna insert our hook in the first stitch there, and then still in the back loop of the normal stitch here, the first stitch here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish the single crochet. So I'm just crocheting those 2 together, the next stitch on the starting row, the next stitch on my previous row, single crochet. I used to try and like come up with, you know, more complicated ways that would make it look absolutely seamless, but you'll see here that this way actually is not very noticeable. Like if I look at that hat that I just made, I cannot find the seam unless I look really closely. So I found this to be the easiest way with good enough results, and so this is what I do. So I'm just single crocheting this first and last together. and you'll see that this is what it looks like. So if I lay that out, it looks very similar to the other ridges. It's a little bit bulkier, like there's a little bit more space there, but it's not super noticeable. Mainly the difference is you can see both loops of that top of that last row of stitches. So you would sew it together all the way. This is the tiniest, the world's tiniest example, so makes it a little bit difficult, but I'm going to do it for you. A normal adult size, so this, like I said, is 10 rows. A normal adult size hat would be anywhere from 70 to 90 rows, depending on the size. So this is significantly smaller. And the thing I love about the ribbing is that it's stretchy. So you can make it, you want it to stretch so that it's comfortably on the size of your head, obviously, but that it still fits snugly. So it kind of grips your head a little bit. And the thing I love about this particular way to do the brim is that when we fold it over, you don't see any raw edges on the bottom of the hat. And also it's double thick at the brim, so it's a little bit extra warm on your head in the winter. So this is, like I said, my favorite way to do a brim. I tried making a knit hat. I'm not a great knitter, and the brim was so loose on it. I don't know what I did, but it was not great. I still wear it because it's cute, but okay. We'll chain one, and now pretend, so the brim would be going this way, right? Like if this was my hat, I would have enough ribbing that it would go all the way along the length of the hat, but this is still double the length. So you would literally fold it over. Again, this is the tiniest, world's tiniest example. You would literally fold it in half so that it's doubled up. And so on this edge, you don't see any rough edge. It's all just the smooth folded. And then when you crochet around, usually I would fold it the other way so it's easier to see. I should have done like 10 extra rows so you could see. Anyway, so you fold it double. And then when you work around, you're going to work into both rows to seal it up. Now, typically, I will say like 1 stitch per row all the way around. And again, for each of these ridges, there's 2 rows. This one's kind of stretched out because I just doubled it up and it was super tiny. But you would just work into one and into the back, single crochet. Some patterns might say work 1, skip 1, work 2, skip 1, whatever. So it doesn't matter exactly where you place it as long as you have 1 per row or whatever the pattern says. So you're just working along this top edge and joining as you go and making sure you get the right number per row. Placement is not that critical. Try to make things as easy as possible on you. Really just make sure you have 2 stitches between each ridge. And so once you've gone all the way around, that will be joined together. So now I can't take it back apart, right? It's secured because I went through both layers when I was crocheting around. And now from here, you just have your 1 row of single crochet. So that would be this first row here where I joined the brim into 1 loop. And then I would keep going around, and depending on the pattern, you might join at the end of the round, you might turn, you might not. In this specific hat, you don't join and you don't turn, but that will vary based on the pattern. But the basic construction of a folded over single crochet ribbing brim is this. Hopefully that made sense, even though I did a super, super, super tiny sample. Yeah, happy crocheting.